Are you coming back to school with me? We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm your host on Teaching with Board Games, here today to do a publisher focus on Gamewright. So something I like to do from time to time is to do a publisher focus where you, instead of looking at particular games or a particular topic, I'm looking, well, the topic being, in this case, the publisher themselves. Because sometimes when you find a game that you like, it might be good to look back at who's the publisher and then back to what games that publisher offers, because you can maybe tap into a whole wealth of games like you would if you looked at anything with Gamewright. Gamewright, giving a bit of a background story here, they were founded back in 1994 by 4 parents who, according to their website, wanted to have great games. And so presumably great games for their kids, because a lot of the games that you will find on the Gamewright website are applicable for the very young, so preschool kids, up to other kids. So I mean, their oldest games are advertised for ages 12 plus, and some of them are great for adults too, which I will talk about in a little bit. So Gamewright on their website has over 150 games, which is a lot of games. I don't know that I will ever get to reviewing all 150 games, but Gamewright, if you want, you can send me all the games that I don't have, and then I can review them all for you. Okay, I'll eventually get to them. Just start sending them, and I will start getting to them. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll be hoping to see those in the mail shortly. But for those 350 games that they have, they've won over 300 awards as well. So that starts to tell you something too, that this is not just 150 games out there that are absolute nonsense. These are games which are really good, solid games. Now, mind you, of the 150 games, maybe one game has won 3 awards and other games have won 0 awards or whatever. I mean, it's not that every game has won 2 awards. I don't know that it divides that easily into the thing. But it just tells you that there are a lot of great games with a lot of great awards attached to them. So in looking at the website for Gamewright, you can. What's nice is that they break it down in different ways in terms of how you want to search. So the first way you can search is if you're searching for a particular age level. So they have breakdowns for preschool students, and they have a few games for the preschool students, ages 6 plus, ages 8 plus, ages 10 plus, and ages 12 plus. So they have that delineation of the game, so that's going to be a nice way to start looking, because often you're looking for games which are going to be suitable for a particular age. Now again, some people will say, well, my child's very advanced, or maybe this game's too babies for them, or however you want to look for it. I mean, so maybe the age thing isn't going to be so much for you, in which case then you can look for type. And then they break down their games on their website by cards, by dice, party games, strategy games, board games, and then they go into other things as well. They also break it down in terms of what kinds of skills that you want to learn. So if say you're particularly looking for a math game, then you can actually look for a math game for ages 8 plus and take it from there. So they're really good website in terms of being able to narrow your focus in on exactly what you're looking for, and I really like that about it. Because there is 150 games to go look through, and again, not knowing all the titles that are out there, it's going to be really hard to know which ones are good for what. So using those filters is a really good way to help you to find exactly what you're going to need. Now, as I was preparing for this, I was going through all the games on the website, and it surprised me how many Gamewright games I've already reviewed on this channel. So the Gamewright games which I've already reviewed on this channel that I noticed, I don't think I missed any, but what I've noticed was Outfoxed, Sushi Go, Sleeping Queens, Forbidden Desert, and Forbidden Island. So all those games are ones I've already reviewed, and coming up I've got some other games coming in, which I mentioned at my June update, I do have a bunch of games coming in that I want to review that are going to be Gamewright games. I'm looking at Zeus and the Loose and Iota are 2 games in particular, which I am excited to look at. So be looking for those ones too, for whenever I can get those ones in. So those games I mentioned, I mean, were great games. I mean, Sleeping Queens is one I've heard talked about all over the place when I'm doing my researching and networking through different channels. And Sleeping Queens is the name of a game that comes up a lot because it is so easily accessible to students and children, and great for helping to learn math facts. So yes, and the Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert are also games which are great for adults. I've played those with adult friends as well as with students, and so it's a game which sort of transcends those age levels. So when we talk about 12 plus, we are talking about 12 to possibly even fun with adults. And I've even played Sleeping Queens with adults too, so that's just another thing. These games, it's going to depend a lot on the people that you're playing with, but sometimes those age ranges are to be taken with a bit of a grain of salt. So hopefully that's going to help you out to find a new resource for looking up some games. As I said, they've got some great filters on the website, and you can really narrow it down in your searches to find particular things that you're looking for. But like I said, you might want to broaden that search a little bit. So if you're looking for like 6 years old, maybe look at the preschool up to the 8+. I mean, like Timothy's like almost 10, and we played Outfoxed, and he enjoyed it, even though they say that's a game for the preschoolers. So it's one of those things. You just have to make your own judgments and decisions on what you think is going to be appropriate for the people that you're buying for. But if you where I love it too is looking at those particular skills that you want to develop, then that's going to be a big saver too, because I know a lot of time when people are giving me comments in the comments section below, then they're asking me about particular skills. Do you know ones that teach math or creative writing or geography or whatever? And those are the kinds of things that you can look for directly in that Gamewright website. So if you are new to the channel, then what I do is I'm putting out content on a weekly basis around topics of gamification, game-based learning, how we can use board games as learning resources to help us to be better educators, better parents, better learners if we're trying to learn for ourselves. There is just so much we can do through the power of board games to help with our education and in our educating. So if this sounds like something that's good to you, then please do hit like and subscribe down below. It really does help, and I really would appreciate that. If you have any other ideas for either great publishers or great games that are out there, maybe books you've read that are around the topics of gamification, game-based learning, or just anything else that you might think of that would be good for the channel, then please, again, leave me that message in the comment section below. Do love to get feedback from the viewers, because it really helps me to drive and focus the content on things that you're going to find interesting. And that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. Until next time, I am Craig Thompson Wood, your host on Teaching with Board Games, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with me? We could